Listen, y'all, if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to stay consistent or just tired of starting over every single Monday, then this video is for you. Hey fam, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is DeeDee. And as you can tell by the title, today's gonna be another meal prep video. Y'all, I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm eating for the next 5 days. High protein, low carb, simple, budget friendly, and repeatable meals that help me lose 95 pounds and also is helping me maintain this weight loss. We all have cravings. And a couple of days ago, y'all, I was craving a Big Mac. So guess what we're doing today? I'm gonna figure out a way to make that Big Mac work for me and my way of eating. So we are having a lunch meal prep and a dinner meal prep, but for lunch, we're having some Big Mac Mason salad jars. And for dinner, we're gonna have us some juicy teriyaki glazed chicken thighs. Y'all know I love me some chicken thighs. It's hard for you to mess them up. They are so juicy and they always come out delicious. So that's what we're making today. And we're gonna pair the chicken thighs with a side of sauteed broccoli. It's gonna be real good, y'all. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, just repeatable meals that are realistic and will help you stay on track. All right, y'all, enough chit chat. Let's go ahead and jump right into this meal prep. I'm starting off this lunch meal prep with cooking the ground beef first because I want to make sure it has time to cool off before we assemble the mason jar salads. Now today I'm using 80-20 ground beef, which has a little bit more fat and flavor. And when you're making meals that you're gonna eat throughout the week, flavor really matters. Now I have my skillet on medium-high heat and I'm just breaking up my meat really well. And now it's time for us to season the ground beef. And y'all, I always say this, if you want to sustain the way you're eating, your food cannot be bland, okay? Season your food the way that you like it. Now for me, I'm using my staple seasonings. Baby, I'm adding my garlic powder, my onion powder, my Morton's Nature Season, which is low sodium, and my Goya Total Seasoning because I love that flavor. Of course, I'm adding a little bit of ground cayenne pepper because you know I like my food to have that little spice, okay? A little bit of bite to it. And all I'm gonna do is just mix all of those seasonings into the meat and I'm just gonna go ahead and let it cook. Now this is gonna cook for about 5 to 6 more minutes. And the key thing that you're looking for is that color change, okay? Once the meat has fully browned and you don't see any red whatsoever, then you know that your ground beef is cooked. Now it's cooked for me, but I'm just continuing to break up those pieces so we don't have any big chunks in the salad. Y'all, the kitchen is already smelling so good. I know this ground beef is gonna be tasty and you wanna make sure whatever salad that you're making, that your protein is tasting really good. That's the biggest key of your salad. Our ground beef is done. That's what it looks like right there. I'm gonna set that skillet to the side and I'm gonna let this cool down completely before we start assembling the mason jar salads. But you know I had to do me a little taste test and let me tell you, this ground beef is delicious. Now it's time for us to move on to the next step of our salad. I have some tomatoes here that I'm chopping up. Today I'm using 4 Roma tomatoes and I'm just dicing them up in small pieces. Y'all, Roma tomatoes are great for salads because they're not overly watery, so they hold up well in meal prep. But you could definitely use whatever tomatoes that you want. I'm just sharing the ones that I'm using today. our tomatoes are all chopped up, and next I'm moving on to my onion. I'm just using a medium yellow onion and just chopping that one up as well. I'm not focusing too much on the exact sizing. I'm just doing my best to keep them relatively small. Next, we have our dill pickles. Listen, y'all know I love me some pickles. Pickles add that tangy flavor that really makes these Big Mac salads taste like the real thing, okay? If you're watching your sodium intake though, just be mindful because pickles can be a little higher in sodium. So don't put too much if you don't want that. All right, we're done chopping up our veggies. And now we are moving on to my version of the Big Mac sauce. Now this sauce is what really brings this salad together, y'all. In my bowl, I have 1 cup of low-fat mayo. You can absolutely use Greek yogurt if you prefer. Substitute it with what you want and you can make it your own. I also added about 2 tablespoons of no sugar ketchup, 1 tablespoon of mustard, and about a tablespoon of dill relish. And I'm also adding just a little bit of that juice from the relish jar to give it a little flavor. I'm also seasoning this sauce with a little bit of salt, some black pepper, and of course a little bit of paprika for that color. I'm mixing everything together, but y'all, the key to this sauce is making sure that you taste your sauce, okay? Because everyone likes their Big Mac sauce a little bit different. So as you can see, I tasted my sauce. I felt like it needed a little bit more ketchup, so I added a little bit more. And then I just wanna make sure I'm mixing it up again, mixing it, making sure everything is fully together in that bowl. And let me tell you something. This sauce is saucing, y'all. Okay, I tasted it one last time to make sure it didn't need anything else, and it tastes really good. Now we're moving on to assembling the mason jar salads. And I've shared this before with y'all. The key to keeping your salads fresh and crispy for up to 5 days in that fridge is all about how you layer the salad, okay? Make sure that the dressing always goes on the bottom. Whatever salad dressing you're using, put that on the bottom. Today we have our little Big Mac sauce. That's going right there as well. I'm doing my best to add equal parts of that sauce to all of these 5 mason jars. Next, I'm grabbing that ground beef, which has fully cooled down, and I'm starting off by adding 2 big spoonfuls into each jar, and then I'll divide the rest evenly. After that, it's time to add the veggies. Now first, I'm gonna add the onions, then the pickles, then the tomatoes. Now the great thing about salads is that veggies are completely interchangeable, okay? You can layer them however you like in this mason jar. As you can see, my veggies were kind of mixing up together the onions and the pickles on that board, and that's okay. That's okay, it was mixed up. Well, guess what? It's gonna be mixed up in that bowl, and it's gonna be mixed up when I eat it as well. So I wasn't worried about it. But yeah, put your veggies in whichever order you would like in those jars. Next, I'm adding about half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese to each jar because what is a Big Mac salad without any cheese, okay? So we done that, and the last step is to add our greens. Today, I'm just using some shredded iceberg lettuce, but you can absolutely use romaine lettuce, spring lettuce, spinach. Y'all, just use whatever greens you like. And that's it, y'all. Our Big Mac mason jar salad meal prep is done, and these will stay fresh for up to 5 days. We're moving on to our dinner meal prep. Y'all, I have already rinsed my chicken, so you know it's time to season. You know my staple seasonings already. I'm adding some onion powder, garlic powder, some Goya total seasoning. I'm also adding some cayenne pepper for that spice that I love. I love everything spicy, y'all. I don't know why, but for me, it just gives me that kick, and I love it. I'm also using a seasoning that I used to use a while back, my Miss Dash. It has no sodium, but has great flavor. I'm adding some Morton's Nature seasoning as well, and just a tiny bit of salt. And then I'm just gonna mix everything together really well so that my chicken thighs are fully coated with seasoning. Next, I'm adding some of my sugar-free teriyaki sauce. Y'all already know I love me some G Hughes. I love the flavor that the sauce has, and I also love the fact that it's sugar-free and low carb. So you can still get that sweet and savory flavor without that extra sugar. So all I'm doing here is just mixing it into that chicken so that every piece is coated. Now we're moving on to our hot skillet, which has been heating on medium heat. We're gonna cook these chicken thighs in batches because we don't wanna overcrowd the pan. Overcrowding can cause the chicken to steam instead of brown, y'all, okay? And we wanna make sure that chicken browns. So I'm placing the first batch of chicken thighs into that skillet. They're gonna cook for about 6 minutes on the first side. And then when you flip them, baby, you're gonna see that nice brownness. You're gonna smell that goodness. You're gonna wanna take a bite, but you can't because the chicken is not fully cooked, y'all. But it looks so good, and that's the color that I'm looking for. So we're gonna allow this to cook for another 5 to 6 minutes. And even though it's smelling amazing, let it cook. And then your chicken thighs are done, y'all. Nicely browned and juicy. So I'm grabbing these chicken thighs out and I'm about to put the next batch in. But always remember, if you're not sure whether or not your chicken is fully cooked, just go ahead and grab you a thermometer and double check. The internal temperature should be at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you know for a fact your chicken thighs are cooked. So for me, I already know because I've been doing this for so long when my meat is cooked, but sometimes you can definitely double check to make sure because you don't want to get sick, okay? Now this is my second batch of chicken that's in here. All I'm doing is repeating the same exact process as before, and our chicken is done. As you can see, it's looking delicious. It's juicy. We're gonna go ahead and take this out of the skillet and place this to the side to cool down. And this is what our chicken thighs look like, y'all. They are done. They are looking so good and smelling so delicious. All right, we're gonna leave these here to cool down and we're moving on to the broccoli. So today I'm using some frozen broccoli, which honestly is one of my favorite meal prep shortcuts. Y'all, you can definitely use fresh vegetables. If you have the time and you like that better, do that. For me, using frozen veggies are so convenient. So I've placed this broccoli directly into that hot skillet. And the key to making frozen broccoli taste so good is making sure you're sauteing it instead of steaming it. And you want that excess water to cook off and evaporate, okay? And that's what I'm doing right here. I'm also going to season my broccoli because you don't want no bland broccoli, okay? You want that broccoli or any vegetable that you're eating to have flavor. I'm just using onion powder, garlic powder, my Morton Nature seasoning, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of black pepper as well to this mix, and we're just gonna mix everything together, okay? You want your veggies to be tasty. When you take that bite, you want that flavor to just be like boom, boom in your mouth, okay? So that's what we're doing right here. I'm just mixing everything together, and I'm also just gonna let it cook for about 7 minutes. Let that water evaporate, and we want the broccoli to get dry and get a little bit of color. And that's what our broccoli looks like once it's done, y'all. Smelling so good and looking delicious. And here we have it, fam. This is our full 5-day lunch and dinner meal prep. So for lunch, we have our Big Mac Mason jar salads that are gonna stay fresh and crisp. And for dinner, we have a juicy teriyaki chicken thighs with some sautéed broccoli on the side. Both meals are high protein, low carb, and perfect for staying consistent with your weight loss journey. Fam, we are done with our meal prep and I am feeling so prepared for the week. Now let's talk about reheating tips. Now let's start with our dinner meal prep. For that juicy chicken thighs, y'all, just heat it up for about 60 to 90 seconds. And with the broccoli, you can splash a little bit of water, a teaspoon of water on it, just to prevent it from drying. But that's all you need. You can heat it up in the microwave. If you want, you could take it out of your container, heat it up in the oven, the air fryer, the stove, whatever you want. But for me, I love convenience, and I just heat it up for about 90 seconds in the microwave. Now, as far as the mason jar salads, you already know how I roll. You shake that thing up, baby. Shake, 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 shake. And then you just pour it right into your bowl, give it a good little mix, and you are good to go. Now, I want to know from you, fam, are you team mason jar salads? I don't know what it is for me, but I love it because it's just so quick when I'm headed to work or just on the road. If I'm driving somewhere, I could just grab it, shake it up, and I'm good to go. So let me know, are you team mason jar salads? Tell me in the comments below. And what's your favorite salad? Drop it down below. And y'all, meal prepping is definitely not about perfection. It's not gonna be perfect, y'all, at all whatsoever. It's really about removing that decision fatigue. You don't have to worry about, what do I have to cook? Do I have anything to cook? Let me just slide through this little drive-through because I have nothing at the house. Nah, you don't gotta worry about that. If you meal prep in advance, it sets you up for success, and that's what's been helping me stay on track. Are you meal prepping this week? If you are, let me know down below what you got on the menu. I'd love to see that. And as always, go ahead and drop a heart to show some love. Like the video if you enjoyed this content. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.